let's do a 24-hour reading vlog. I have literally never tried one of these, whether that's for a video or just like in my own life. Firstly, because I am not a fast reader, so I was like, I feel like I'm just gonna be embarrassed to show that I've read like one book. Second of all, I am such a grandma and go to bed at like 9-10 p.m. so like I've never felt the want, the urge, or the ability to do one that's like a full 24 hours of just staying up. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna split this into 2 days. I was planning on starting this morning at like 8 a.m. It is currently 2, which is great, but I did forget that I had plans this morning to go see the new Fantastic Four movie, which is why I'm wearing my Spider-Man shirt. I love a good, what movie do you think I'm watching moment, or just like dressing up on theme a little bit when you go to the movies. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. I'm a little bit late. I was originally gonna try to do 12 hours one day, 12 hours the next day, but I'm not staying up until 2 a.m. So we will see how far we get today, and then tomorrow we're gonna catch up on that time. So we'll probably hit like 9 hours. And this is my lineup of books. Here's the thing, I am a slow reader, but I have some books in here that I'm currently reading, some books that I want to read, some books that I have for my book club. So like I would like to start getting to read that. First of all, we're gonna start with the one that I'm currently reading on my Kobo, because I feel like I do read faster on this. It's easier to just like lay down and read on this, and I am currently 39% of the way through, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, which is a fantasy about this girl who is human and grows up in the vampire world, and she's competing in these trials right now with like, I think it starts off like 100 contestants, and they're currently down to like 20 or 30 or something. Whoever wins the trials basically gets any wish that they want granted, and her wish is like to become as powerful as her like adopted vampire dad, who's like the vampire king or whatever. Crazy plot line that only a fantasy could have me saying. But anyway, it is pretty interesting, and I feel like it's fast-paced because it is a fantasy. I feel like a lot more of the modern fantasies that are coming out these days aren't as like high-stakes epic fantasies that take a lot of brain power. So this is a good fast-paced one that I feel like I'll probably actually finish. Then another one that I'm currently reading is My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which I honestly don't think I'll get more than like a few chapters through this, because I love his writing so much. It's just not fast-paced writing, and I do feel like I want to take my time with it because I love his writing and I love this book, and I just love this author so much, and I really want to take my time with it. I'm like over halfway done. I'm on page 285 out of like early 400, something like that. Yeah, like 430 something pages. I don't have a lot left, but I definitely don't think I'll be finishing her. Then we have books that I haven't yet started, but I would like to. Firstly, we have The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, which is a mystery thriller, which I also don't read mystery thrillers, but one of my friend's moms gave me this book, and I do think I read one of her books like ages and ages ago, like maybe like 6 years or something. So I think it'll be interesting. I also have this on Libby on audiobook right now, which will be good because I do have like a few things that I'll probably need to do today, so I'll just have that on audio in the background, and I feel like that's a good way to like get a book checked off. And I do feel like thrillers are a fast-paced moment. I think it's about this guy who goes missing, and then his daughter and his like new wife or girlfriend or something, like her stepmom, have to like figure out what's going on. They like don't like each other, and then they end up like teaming up and like liking each other by the end, I guess. Then we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I've been really wanting to read this recently. I've like not been in a fantasy mood, but honestly this book is really like intriguing me, and I feel like fantasy again is like fast-paced. I think this is YA as well, so I think it'll be even faster paced. It is like 500 pages, almost 500 pages, so like she's long, but I do feel like fantasy books are fast-paced, so we have that. And then lastly we have Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, which is my book club's book. I do a book club with like some of my friends here, and we literally just chose this yesterday, which is great because it's one of the books that I picked, and she's really short. She's petite. She is exactly 300 pages long, so I feel like that'll be an easy one. Also a thriller, so it should be fast-paced. I think this one is about like this family that lives on either like an island in Antarctica or like the Arctic Circle. They have a seed bank, like that's what they do. They're the only people on this island, and then this girl washes ashore, and then it's just like a mystery thriller moment, figuring out why she's here, her figuring out who the heck these people are, because they all have like crazy backgrounds, I'm assuming. And I just love the cover. I love orange, it's my favorite color, so I feel like that'll be fun. A little bit ambitious. I don't at all expect to finish all 5 of these books. I'm thinking hopefully I finish 2. You know, I feel like The Serpent and the Wings of Night will definitely be finished, and then I feel like The Last Thing He Told Me, if I'm feeling in the mood for like a mystery thriller, or if I like this could also be done because it's audiobook. And then I kind of feel hopeful about either like finishing this or like getting a good way through this, like one of these two. I know my friends is like not being finished. That's just a given. Like I don't at all expect to, nor do I necessarily want to, because I don't want to just like binge read this quickly. Let's start the countdown, shall we? We've got 24 hours left to read, so let's get to this. I think I'm gonna put on The Last Thing He Told Me first, because I need to go through and just see if there's like any chores to be done. And honestly, I kind of feel like junk journaling right now. I started that the other day and I kind of want to do that, so currently 2 hours and 13 minutes in. We have 21 hours and 47 minutes left. I have this one is like a 24-hour timer, and this one is like a stopwatch, so we're counting up. We are currently 3 hours and 38 minutes through The Last Thing He Told Me, which is I think like 41%, and that is page 128. So we've gotten a good bit through. This book is honestly really fast paced, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I feel like not a lot has happened for it to be 128 pages, but like audiobook wise the pacing seems great. I am honestly really enjoying it. I mean, I am very much a newbie to thrillers and mysteries. Like I don't very much read them at all. I think the last time I read one was like 5 years ago or something. From my unexperienced perspective with the genre, I am really enjoying it, and I think it's written very well, and I like the dynamic. We have found out that Bailey's father is missing, and that his company just got busted for a bunch of like fraud, and he's like one of the top people in the company. Like it's the CEO, and then I think he's like one under the CEO or something. And so he's gone missing. The CEO's been busted, found by the police, and they're trying to like figure out where he is, anything to do with it, because he left a note for his wife, which name is Hannah. He leaves a note for Hannah that says protect her, and then he leaves a note for his daughter Bailey that's like, remember the most important thing about me, or something like that. And then a bag with at least 60, is it 60? No, at least 600k worth of money. So they're on like a little adventure trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And it's cute because they're like getting to know each other and like each other more. It's cute because like Bailey was really against Hannah in the beginning, but now she's like warming up to her because Hannah's kind of allowed to show the side of her that cares about Bailey now that her dad's gone, because she's like, look, I'm the only person you have, so like let me just show you that I actually care about you, and you will take this, but like in a nicer way than that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've had a lot of errands to do and I kind of feel like I want to keep reading this, so we're gonna do that. I have a call coming, so I'm gonna answer that and I'm gonna get back to reading. It's getting crazy. Okay, currently 4 hours and 16 minutes in, and I'm 75% of the way through, and I just finished part 2, and oh my god, all shit has now broken loose as of like the last just chapter of part 2. Like we've kind of figured out why the dad is gone and like the background and everything. And let me just say, it was very much not what I expected. It was very much in the complete opposite way that I was expecting, and I'm very intrigued to see how this ends. So yeah. Y'all, I just finished the first book of the vlog, and that is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, and I really liked it. I have to say, like, I don't read this genre like literally ever, so like I don't know compared to other books in the genre what it would be, but I really enjoyed it. I did not expect it to go in the way it went. I wouldn't necessarily call it, I mean, yeah, I guess the plot twist. I guess I'd say it was the plot twist. I didn't expect it, but it was so interesting, and I thought it worked very well with the story, and I think it felt very true to the characters, and I really liked it. And I really liked how it ended, how it all wrapped up. I thought it was really good, and I thought it was, I mean, like obviously like thrillers and mysteries and stuff like aren't realistic, but I thought it was a more realistic way to end up this kind of story. Finished at 5 hours and 39 minutes, and now it's 5 hours and 42 minutes, which means we still have another 18 hours and 17 minutes left, guys. Crazy that we still have 6 hours until we get to halfway, because that would be like, what, yeah, 2 a.m. So I'm gonna have to sit for the rest of this night. Like, I'm literally in my PJs. I took a shower. It's almost 8 p.m. right now. Like, I'm ready for bed, but there's still 18 hours left, so I'm gonna have to lay down and read some of The Serpent and the Wings of Night on my Kobo, because what do you mean there's still 6 hours before we can hit halfway? We're just gonna sit and binge this. Let's see what page I'm on. I'm currently on page 167 out of 422, which is 41%. I feel like we can get a lot kicked out tonight. I'm not going to read the full 6 hours tonight because, like I said, there's no way I'm staying up until 2 a.m. But we will try. We will try at least to a certain extent to stay up. Maybe 11, you know? That's crazy for me. That's 3 hours from now. We got this, hopefully. Maybe I'll even push it to midnight. We will see. I'm gonna start reading this now. But I did really enjoy this. I feel like I'll do like ratings and stuff at the end, just so I can like have my thoughts, especially like reading so many books back to back to back. I think this is the fastest I've like ever read a book in my life. I literally did not take any pauses. I blasted it when I was showering. Literally have not stopped reading this book the entire reading vlog so far. I did really enjoy it, but yeah, because of the fact that I'm reading them so quickly back to back, I feel like I need to think about it more. Also, because this is a new genre, I need to be like, okay, how does this actually like sit with me for more than just like the first 3 seconds afterwards? But I do have to say I really enjoyed it. But now let's get into some vampire fantasy. I just made it to part 5, which is Crescent Moon, page 234, and I'm 55% of the way through, I think. Yeah, 55%. Y'all, oh my god, what? Did it just restart? Ain't no way. Ain't no way it restarted. Okay, well, I was almost at 9 hours. Guess not. I have 13 more minutes until I hit 9 hours today, but thankfully this one is still going. We still have 15 hours and 20 minutes tomorrow. So I'm thinking read another chapter, just hit that 9-hour mark to get to 15 hours tomorrow, which means I have to wake up early enough to have 15 hours before it even hits midnight, which midnight is 12, so 3 hours before that is 9. But there's no way I'm staying up until midnight because I'm like so exhausted. It's not even 11. So let's say 2 hours before 9, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. wake up time for reading. Are we ready for that, guys? Are we ready for that? I am actually having a lot of fun. Like, I was already having a really good time with this book, but I feel like the past 15% since starting it today and kind of binging it, it's gotten like really good. I do feel like, you know, typically the first 30-40% is just a little bit slower, a little bit of an intro, world building, oh my god, setting out the plot, and now we're like in the thick of it and I'm like, wait, I really like this. So yeah, I'm actually having a lot more fun than I thought I was, and the trial that they're currently in is it's really interesting. I do like it. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna read like one more chapter. Oh my god. See, this is the thing. Whenever I watch a 24-hour reading vlog, when they do it like 24 hours straight, I'm like, it's like 5 a.m. and they're still not yawning. Girl, it's not 11. It is not 11. I haven't even been doing this for 9 hours yet. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to reading and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow because I can't do this shit right now. Ugh. Good morning. I just started the timer up again. We've got 15 hours. Let's keep reading. What in the hell is going on right now? I just finished chapter 40 and I'm sorry. I knew we were leading up to something kind of in that domain, but like, I fear we went a little bit too far. I'm gonna need a lot of background info on this and explanation for it to make sense. Yeah, but I'm honestly really enjoying this. Like, I am surprisingly really having fun. I know I've literally been saying that this entire time about both books, but I've just like not been in a fantasy mood, but like this is eating. I kind of feel like it could be time. But yeah, I'm 73% of the way right now and it is currently 8:42 a.m. We've got 13 hours and 20 minutes left. Guys, what the fuck? What the ever-living fuck? Okay, so that means I should probably end at like 10 p.m. Okay, let's keep reading. Guys, what? Guys, what? I'm sorry, I was about to just like put it on because crazy stuff was happening, and then like right as I clicked it, last line of the chapter. Hello? Okay, officially last part because we have like 30 pages left. End of book 1. Give me a second. Give me a second to just like comprehend what the heck has just happened. I truly like don't know what to say. First, let's check the time. Actually, we have 10 hours and 40 minutes left. Guys, we've hit halfway. It feels like we're way past halfway. Like mentally, I'm like, oh wait, shit, we still have like 11 hours left. Like that's crazy. We've only done 13 hours. I'm like exhausted, but it's fine. But let's talk about this first and foremost. The ending like really got me. I was always like, I don't know how they're gonna wrap up the end, what they're gonna do, what they're gonna make the twist. Like I'm really confused. How is this gonna happen? But the way in which they did it was so unexpected. Like it works really well and it sets up well for the next book, because I think it's a duology specifically following these two characters, but then I think it's like a bigger world where like there's like another duology that follows other characters. I don't know. And I think there's a novella. I don't know. But like the amount of crazy stuff that just happened at the end of this that was like in such succession, just like insane thing after insane thing after insane thing. I like don't know what to think. I also like everybody, not everybody, but like I don't know how to say anything without spoiling anything, but like a lot of the characters just seem so sincere. And obviously like in real life we know that like there are gray zones, like no one is just bad or just good, especially like in a vampire world. Like some of the vampires are gonna be good, right? So that then automatically kind of makes them morally gray, whatever. But it's like so difficult to figure out who's on the morally right side of this, because both of them have such good explanations, which I honestly really enjoyed. Like I feel like a lot of times fantasy books are just like, these people enslaved my people and are killing everybody, so like they suck and now we're gonna go to war against them. Whereas this, I feel like it's very, I wouldn't say nuanced. I mean, yeah, actually, like it's very interesting. Just like the way there's just like, I don't know. It's so deeply interesting. It really is. Also like the nuance of like love. It's like you can hate everything that somebody's doing, but still love them and make it so much more difficult. I don't know, guys. This kind of ate. We will still wait until the end for like final thoughts and ratings, but like this was good. Now I will get dressed first, but I thought I'd pick the next book. Let's grab them. Okay. So So we've read The Last Thing He Told Me and then The Serpent and the Wings at Night, and then we still have My Friends, which like if I read, it's literally just gonna be like a chapter, okay? But I do feel like maybe like picking it up to like break up a little bit of whatever the next book is, you know? And then we have, here's the thing, we have like 11 hours left. So like, why do I kind of believe in this? Why do I kind of believe in this? Because I just read a book and a half. Like I just read the entirety of this, which is like 300 pages. Yeah, I would say like 250 pages of this. And this is, how long is this? 446. So that's 100 pages less than that combined. Like I could theoretically read this in that time. But then we also have Wild Dark Shore. And it's like, okay, I read a mystery thriller and then I read a fantasy. And my other two options are a mystery thriller or a fantasy. So I'm like, I don't know what the vibe is. I don't know what the vibe is. Okay, I'm gonna get ready, sit with this for a second, and then figure it out. Give myself like 10 minutes where I'm not reading a freaking book. Like, okay, yeah. Okay, I just took a mad pause because I really needed like a minute before continuing reading. I was like, my brain feels fried, and at that point there was still what, like almost 11 hours left, and now there's almost 10 hours left. We have 9:45. So yeah, I deeply needed that break. But I think that I decided to go with An Ember in the Ashes. I feel like I've been wanting to read this one a lot the past like 2-3 months, like literally since I got it. Actually before I got it, because I did get it. I feel like sadly a lot of the times I'll get books even though I'm like, I don't want to read this like immediately. But this book, I got it and I wanted to read it immediately, but I just didn't have the time. But like, and now it's time. Now it's time. I am excited. Also, I think the cover is so pretty. I think like the gold foiling with the, is that like a puma, is so cool. And it's a 4-book series, I believe. So yeah, I'm excited. The one thing that I have to say is that I find hilarious is I've read the summary when I got it, because I've heard great things about it, so I never really like knew what it was about, because I'm like, okay, fantasy, whatever. They're all more or less the same in principle. But when I read the back of this the first time, I was like, okay, so this is literally just Star Wars? Let's read this, okay? Under the Martial Empire, Defiance is met with death. Leia and her family do not challenge the Empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Leia's brother is arrested for treason, she's forced to make a decision in exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother. She will risk her life to spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, Leia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. He and Leia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. I mean, here's the thing. If you just said Empire and Rebel, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Rebels are, you know, obviously like in opposition and underling for a government, right? Empire, it's just a common vocabulary word. It's not like a made up thing, right? But it's the fact that her name is Leia and also that she's looking for her brother. I'm like, okay, so this is literally the original Star Wars movies. Cool. But I don't think it actually feels like that when you start reading it. But I just thought that was really funny. So yeah, let's finally get to reading. I think the spine is so cool because I think it forms like an image when they're all put together, because this, so far you can see like half of what I'm assuming is Leia. So yeah. And I think all the covers look really pretty. Like I just love the bright colors. This is why I love like the ACOTAR covers. I know a lot of people don't, but I love like the bright colors, and then just like, are they black text on those? I honestly couldn't tell you, but like I just think they're so like fun to look at in comparison to like a normal fantasy cover that I feel like is just like black with stuff on it, you know? So let's get to reading. just made it exactly to page, where was it? 100. Leia has officially made it to the academy where she's like gonna be a spy for the resistance on the Empire. Basically the academy trains like the Empire's soldiers. She's spying on like the top person in the academy called the commandant, and she's just pretending to be like your average maid slave moment. Mr. Elias is also in the academy, but he is, as it was said, like one of the top people in the academy, and he just graduated like yesterday. But they're starting some like trials of basically like the top 4 people in the academy who just graduated do this trial to see who the new emperor of the entire empire is gonna be. And these like spiritual god things were like, okay, it's time. It's been 500 years since we picked the last emperor, so it's time to pick this new guy. And so basically Elias is about to start this trial, and he's like, well fuck, like I was gonna desert, like I was ready to desert because I hate the Empire, and now it'll look really sus if I desert because of the trials and everything. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to make this an inside job, you know, if he becomes emperor then he can like change stuff. But seeing as this is a 4-book series, something feels like he's not gonna become emperor. He's gonna have to find another way to like break down the Empire. I've said that word too many times now, but I am enjoying it. Every single chapter switches perspective, which I appreciate. I feel like a lot of times in like multiple POV chapter books, it'll be like 3 chapters in a row of one person's POV, and I'm like, I'm waiting for the next person. I want to know what's happening exactly now in this other person's POV, and I appreciate that this book is doing that. And I just keep being like, wow, it's such a pretty book. Like physically, I'm like, it's just so nice to look at. Let's get back into it. Halfway. I just put on the audiobook for An Ember in the Ashes and went to the store to get, if it wants to open, ice cream. I love a Ben & Jerry's, and I had a coupon that was like buy 2 non-dairy Ben & Jerry's, get $2 off, and they were on discount. So if you don't eat the ice cream off the lid of your ice cream, you're insane. I got milk and cookies, and then I think peanut butter and cookies which are basic, but they didn't have any of the fun flavors, so I'm gonna audiobook a little bit more. I'm gonna eat this. Not even 4 hours left, guys. Now I finally feel like I'm at the end of it. I'm kind of scared. I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna finish? Crazy. I have like, I think like 44 pages or something left. Guys, the main twist so far, I guessed it. But like in a good way. Like I'm glad it went that way because it makes sense. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I just really like the character relations in this book. I feel like I haven't talked a lot about it, but there's just a lot of different types of dynamics, like friendship dynamics, romantic dynamics, worker employee kind of dynamics, unbalanced mother-son dynamics, and I don't know, it's a whole thing. It's so interesting, and they're also interesting the way that they like flow and they shape, and it's really interesting because it's like there's so many things. I feel like I was saying this when I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Like, there's a lot of things where I'm like there's the person that's like in the wrong or like whatever, like the person that you're supposed to be blaming. It's like not the main character. But honestly, I'm like, I understand their side. I understand where they're coming from, and like I get it, especially in the world that they're set in. And I'm like, I feel like, I don't know if it's just because I haven't read a fantasy in a minute, but I feel like I never see this in fantasies, and now like 2 books literally back to back in the same video in the same day, you know? I'm really enjoying it, and I really want to continue this series, but I only have the first book, so maybe that's gonna be a little Target trip this week or something, because I've been trying not to buy more books, but I really like this series so far. I mean, it's literally only the first book, but I can like see it going in a really interesting direction. And I also appreciate, I'm like not a romance girly. I can do a romantasy sometimes as long as it's not like romance-y, you know? And like I saw someone be like, oh, it's like romance, and I was like, ugh. But I feel like it's not. I feel like it's not. I feel like it's very much a fantasy with a subplot of romance, and it's also like incredibly slow burn, which I'm very much appreciating, because I feel like so many books that have come out recently, I mean, I know this one isn't recent, they just got like new covers last year or the year before or something, but I just feel like a lot of like fantasy romantasy books that have been coming out recently have all just been romantasy and like so like romance focused and just, you know, smutty, and that's not what I'm wanting. It's not what I'm wanting, and that's fine if you do, but personally it's not where I'm at right now. So I'm really just enjoying it. Like the dynamics, I think the plot is really interesting. Also, it's like very light on the fantasy, which I kind of noticed about halfway in. I was like, oh wait, like literally other than just like these tiny little like side creatures that are like in for the trials and stuff, and then like the augurs, I don't know, whatever, these like beings that can mind read, like it's not fantastical, like there's not like just magic, you know, which is honestly kind of fun. I think because I've not been in the biggest fantasy mood as well, so I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's not just like flying and wings and stuff, which was The Serpent and the Wings tonight, and I did like it, but I'm liking this a lot more. Like this, I could fully see this being like a 5-star series, which is kind of a crazy thing to say because I'm on a 24-hour readathon, and I feel like I'm just like, but I feel like I'm honestly like sitting through and like reading these books properly, which I was the reason why like I try not to like speed read books, and I've really had a focus this year on reading less books and having the books that I read be more tailored to ones that I genuinely think that I will like rate highly and like genuinely like really enjoy. So I've been trying to like take my time more with books, which is another reason why it's taken me so long to read My Friends and I haven't touched it this video. But that's why I was always a little bit scared of like 24-hour reading challenges, because I was like, okay, like I'm gonna read however many books, even if it's just like one, two, whatever, you know, like I feel like I'm just gonna like fly through it for the sake of like seeing how many I can read in that time, and just like, you know, back to back to back constantly reading and like not taking breaks to process. But I feel like I've genuinely really enjoyed the books that I've read, which also recently, not even recently, in the past like full on just like the entire past 2.5 years, it's been very difficult for me to like really enjoy a book on audio, because I feel like I'm kind of not like fully absorbed in it. But that could also be because I basically only listen to like romance books on audio, and I don't like romance books in general. So yeah, it's like I really like Tom Lake, and oh no, I didn't read that audio. I wanted to, but I didn't. Never mind. Yeah, like I read all of The Last Thing He Told Me on audio. I did a little bit, I think, of The Serpent and the Wings at Night, like while I was at the gym or something. And then right now I'm like listening to it on audio while physically reading at the same time, and I was listening to it when I went to the store to get ice cream. But I feel like I'm genuinely like paying attention and really absorbing the information and like really liking it, which is just a nice surprise. I feel like this video has been like surprisingly really good, which I feel like a lot of people get slumped out after 24 reading vlogs, and I thought I would be one of those people, because I typically get slumped out if I read a bunch of books back to back to back. But I'm honestly just like really excited to read right now. I don't know, we'll see tomorrow. I want to wake up tomorrow morning and actually like start my day off reading, because then otherwise I feel like giving myself a break in the morning will slump me out, and I'll just be like, oh, I can't today, like give me pause. Whereas if I feel like if I just grab a book in the morning and start reading, then I won't feel slumped. I don't know. But yeah, we have like 40 pages left, or 34 pages left, so let's get to that. Last chapter. That is book 3 done. There's still 20 minutes left. And I'm like, that is not enough time to start another book. I was like, if it's an hour, maybe I just start one. But I'm like, you know what? We're good. And I don't feel like right now is the mood to read like another chapter of My Friends. So we're just gonna end it off at 3 books. And to end this little 24-hour reading vlog, little bookish moment, I think I'm gonna sit and watch the new episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty that came out today, that I've somehow not succumbed to the urge to watch it and pause my reading. You guys should be very proud of me for doing that, or for not doing that, I guess. So I'm gonna sit down and watch that for these last 20 minutes and a little bit more. I can't do this countdown. I can't. And we're done. And I'm done. Guys, let's stop the stopwatch because apparently it was going the entire time. Right? Oh, wait. Okay, this one's a little bit behind, but either way, we are finally done. So I'm gonna go finish that episode, walk my dog, and see you guys tomorrow to finally just say my thoughts and everything. Okay guys, let's recap the 24-hour reading vlog. First of all, let me just say I am so surprised and kind of proud that I even actually finished this. I know I split it up in 2 days, but I was like, even that is crazy. Like, I don't think I've ever read that much in my life in one sitting. I feel like maybe I have read 3 books in like a day before. Actually, totally lie, in like 36 hours or something, maybe even 24, I read the entire Hunger Games trilogy when I was younger because I could not put them down. But within like recent times, and this was honestly really fun. I was so exhausted that this is now 2 days later because yesterday I just needed to fully decompress. I just like laid in my PJs and like did little like arts and craftsy stuff. Like I was working on my junk journal and stuff because I was like, I can't. I know I said I wanted to read in the mornings so that I could actually read and like not get slumped, but I didn't read because I was just like, I just want to like put something on in the background, like a little show, something, just like journal. I can't read right now, but I'm not slumped. Like I want to read now, and I am actually really excited to read Wild Dark Shore now because I just watched a YouTube video on like a really good review on it. So we're gonna do that, but first let's review. Firstly, I added up the amount of pages that I read, and guys, my like page goal for the year I think was like 10,000 or something. I was just expecting to kind of go above, but I was like, who knows, like I kind of want to read some like shorter books and stuff this year, so we'll see. I literally read 1,010 pages in 24 hours. 1,010 pages. That is a 10th of my year's reading goal in a day. Okay, so the first book that I read was The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, and this is my first mystery in who knows how long, and I really enjoyed it. I think I have settled on like a 4-star. Like I really enjoyed this. I thought the relationships between like the stepmom and the daughter were really interesting. I thought like the mystery element was really cool, and I think that the way they explained it was very interesting. It's just not something that I ever would have like expected from a mystery, like the way they went about it, like what the realization was at the end, and the way they wrapped it up. I thought it was really interesting and cool. Then I finished up A Serpent and the Wings of Night on my Kobo, and I also was like pleasantly surprised with that one. I've like not been in a fantasy mood, but I was like, you know what, I'd been reading it for like a few days just because I wanted something on my Kobo, and I mainly have fantasies on my Kobo, and I was like, let's just continue her. And I actually really liked it. Like I thought the dynamics were really interesting. I liked the way they dragged out, made it a little bit more of a slow burn on the romance side of things. I thought the like morally grayness of the characters was really interesting. The way at the end, like very much nobody is in the right, like they're doing things like because they genuinely think it'll like help people, but they're like, I understand that this is not like the best way to go about things, and it's very interesting, very morally gray. I enjoyed it, and I feel like I'd give her like a 3.75. Like she was really good, but she didn't like wow me. Then we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I've been wanting to read this book for a good while now. I've heard nothing but amazing things, and then Maddie Faber actually said that this is like one of her new like 5-star series. Like she like binged the whole thing because it was just so good, and I love her videos, so I was like, you know what, now I like really want to read it. And I was like, could be a good vibe for a 24-hour reading vlog, just because fantasies I feel like are a little bit of a faster paced read than maybe the books that I'm more inclined to read currently, like literary fiction and that kind of stuff. I love living in San Diego because this is just the constant. Okay, I feel like it's quieted down enough. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. I really didn't know anything going into this book other than like what's on the back, which is basically that there's an empire and then there's a resistance, and the empire took Leia's brother and she's basically joined up with the resistance to try to help get her brother out, and they like put her in this like martial academy as like a slave to the top person in the academy, like basically the dean of the academy, and have her like spy on them in return for help. And then there's Elias, who is the top person in his graduating year of the academy, and he is being submitted to trials to see who the new emperor of the empire is going to be. And so it's split perspective. What I really enjoyed about this book was the fact that it was a genuine, true split POV book. I truly, one of my biggest pet peeves in a book is when you have multiple POVs and it doesn't switch every chapter. Like, I can't stand when you have like 3 chapters in a row of one person's perspective. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, cram it all into one, put some page breaks or something. It just like irks me because I'm like, oh my god, got to the end of a chapter, like exciting new person. It's not a new person. I'm like, this was genuinely every single chapter switched, and it was really interesting because they did it like every chapter was occurring at the exact same time, just in the other person's perspective. So it's basically what, like 50 chapters, but actually only like 25 or not perspectives, like times. And it's just like each moment you just get it from the 2 people's perspective, whether they're in the same scene or not. And I found that really interesting, and I really liked it. And honestly I feel like she's a 4.5. Like, I really like this and I really want to continue. I also really appreciate the fact that it is such a slow burn that they're not even together in this book, and it doesn't even look like they're going to be soon. And I'm happy about that because I'm not, first of all, I'm not in a fantasy mood, right? I've said that enough times. But I'm especially not in a romantasy mood because I have recently come to terms with the fact that I hate a romance book. Like, I hate, maybe hate's a strong word, but I really dislike a romance. I really dislike a smutty, just like they're doing it the whole book kind of vibe. There are some books that happens and I like them because there is enough plot, enough fantasy to keep me going. But I'm like, firstly, this is YA, and second of all, they're not even together yet after nearly 500 pages. And I'm like, thank god we have 3 more books for them to like actually get together. And I'm like, thank you. It draws out the tension better. I love a good side plot of romance, which is what this is, and I really appreciate that. So I would say overall this was really good. I was expecting to read like a book and a half, and I ended up reading 2 6/10. So I'm glad about that. We finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then we read the entireties of An Ember in the Ashes and The Last Thing He Told Me. So I'm very happy with that. Also, I feel like we've got good ratings. There's a 3.75, a 4, and a 4.5. So I'm happy about that. Maybe that means that I'll do one of these again. We will see. But anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.